Hey everybody, how are you doing? Can I? Thought I could fix the lighting somehow. Maybe I should just turn this way. Hang on. 4th. Okay, that's better. So y'all can see me better. So, I am going to talk about my motherhood experience, my origin story, if you will. But first, I'm going to walk through how I happen to be here on a Tuesday evening going live, which is not the normal thing. So, I did not sleep very well last night. Because of that, when my alarm went off this morning to work out, I decided to go back to sleep. And when I go back to sleep in the morning, I don't snooze for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't snooze. I just go back to sleep for 50 more minutes, exactly 50 more minutes. Just to get more rest. So I didn't work out this morning. Then I went to work and ended up working late, over an hour later than I normally would. So then I didn't get home until an hour after I normally would. So I'm missing soccer practice right now. So it's just my husband and my daughter at soccer. We usually all go as a family, but I wasn't able to go. And since I had some time, since I wasn't able to go to soccer, I said, well, how about you work out since you didn't get a chance to work out this morning because you slept in. So that's how I happened to be here on my stepper on a Tuesday evening. And I decided to talk to y'all fine folks. So 2 things are happening this month. One, it's my birthday month. My birthday's on the 13th. I will be 36 years old, and I'm excited. I always feel very excited in October, and I love getting older. I love gaining more years. I'm not the type of person who's how old do I look, and how old am I, and blah, blah, blah. I'm just really happy to be here, so I'm excited for this year, for this new year for me, and the final session of the final coaching cohort of 2024 will start this month on October 28th. And so, since registration is full-blown open now, I figured this would be a great time to talk about my motherhood experience, my journey, and really how Back to You in 5 came to be, and how group coaching came to be. So, back in 2017, my now husband and I, we started dating and then got pregnant unexpectedly. And I was not someone who ever thought of having children, planned on having children, wanted to become a mom. It never seemed enticing to me. I didn't think that I would be a good mother. I felt like I was very selfish, self-centered, and did not have any business really being a mom. So that really wasn't a huge plan for me. And then as I got a little bit older, I thought, well, I really do want to get married. I want a husband. So maybe once that happens, I'll talk with him and then we can talk about it. But things happened wrenched around and out of order, as they sometimes do, which is fine. And so for me, being pregnant was traumatic. The idea of just being pregnant and knowing, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a child, after I told myself for so many years that I didn't want to be a mom and that I would be a really bad mom, I was having a hard time all throughout my pregnancy. And then, I'm on my stepper, y'all. That's why I'm out of breath. I can talk and do stuff, but I'm on my stepper. And so I carried all that with me while I was pregnant, just this idea of, whoa, you're responsible for a child now, and just thinking about all my decisions, how did I get here? Can't believe I'm pregnant. Long story short, I was really hard on myself during pregnancy. And then when my daughter was born, it was great. Fine, she came, she was healthy, even though I was a higher risk pregnancy because I have a history of fibroids and had some removed, and there was a lot going on there. And so I had to have a C-section. I knew that going into it. I was only allowed to carry up to 37 weeks, maybe 38, due to risk of bad things happening when it was time for her to come to this world. So I carried that because I knew that early on. So I was already like I said, pregnancy was traumatic. So then she came February 27th, 2018, a week after my husband and I got engaged. No, it was around there, like maybe 2 weeks after my husband and I got engaged, and then a week after we got a new apartment or something. We were like just moving in together, living together for the first time, newly engaged, and then we had a baby all at one time. And so adjusting to motherhood was kind of hard, but I knew that it was going to be challenging because I always thought motherhood was hard. So it took me a while to really realize that I was struggling, as in was losing pieces of myself within the motherhood experience, that I really wasn't enjoying being a mother, that I was really just on a roller coaster of, okay, what does she need? Where do I have to be? What do I need to do? And I was nursing too, and then I took 12 weeks off work, and then I went back to work, then I had to nurse at work. That was very annoying. And then while we're doing that, we're planning a wedding, and all these things are happening. So then 2019 comes around, I'm still mothering, we get married in 2019, and I again was just kind of just going through the motions. And then I started, toward the end of 2019, starting to feel like my life looks really good on paper. Like, I'm married, a beautiful child, everybody's healthy, we're going to start looking for a house. But I started feeling the little nuggets of thought. And like, why are you not happy? Like, outside looking in, this looks good, but I wasn't feeling like myself. It felt like I was looking at my life happening, but I was outside of it. So when 2020 came around, we all got sat down with the pandemic, right? And that was the first time as a mother I was able to just sit with my thoughts, and there was more quiet, and I had that time to, hey, I'm telling my story about my motherhood experience. And 2020 was the first time that I was able to really sit with who I was and how motherhood really felt and what my experience was like. And I'm on my stepper too, that's why I'm out of breath. But I remember specifically, like in March or April of 2020, I walked past my mirror and I just looked at my reflection, and I was just like, ew, what's going on here? I didn't look like me, I didn't feel like me. And it wasn't just that time had passed and I had been older. I truly felt like I couldn't remember the last time I looked at myself in the mirror. And I'd imagine I had to have looked at myself in the mirror on my wedding day, but like I didn't remember it. I just really couldn't remember the last time I had looked at myself, looked like me, felt like me. And so that was my moment to be like, hey, you got to start getting back to you. And so Back to You in 5, it was really about, me working with moms and helping them get back to them. And really it's about getting back to you. So I started very slowly. Like, I would make myself stay in the shower, like stay in the bathroom for a long period of time. Because when I became a mom, the first thing I cut back on was taking like long showers. I would just get in the shower, wash up real quick, and get out. And I'm like, oh, my daughter, she needs me. I can't just be in here in the shower decompressing. I need to go back out here and be a mom. And so I was doing that. And so that was the first thing I undid. I was like, okay, I would set a timer for 5 minutes. And after I washed up, I would turn the timer on, and I would make myself stay in the shower for an extra 5 minutes. And then my mind would start racing. And when I would get out, I would journal my thoughts. And so the foundation, really, of Back to 5 is spending those 5 minutes with you to reflect and then journaling those thoughts. So after doing that for several months, I then started adding other things like a skincare routine. And then I changed my wardrobe. Like I looked at my wardrobe and was like, do you like this stuff that you've been wearing? Let's upgrade that. And then I started wearing makeup again. And then skincare routine. I started working out. And I did all that and slowly over some months. And then once I had recovered from what I call a shattered sense of self, I started talking to other mothers, like just other friends who were moms. And there were a few of my friends that had become mothers before I did. And, I would check in with them and check on the kids and stuff, and I would check on how they were doing. But none of them had ever said anything about identity loss or anything like that. So I started talking to them. Come to find out, that was like a thing that they were like, oh yeah, that happens. That's just how you feel. And I was like, well, but wait, is there something that we can do? Is there something that we can control to help us feel better? And then, so that's when I really kind of packaged up that whole process that I did and started facilitating workshops and really getting with other mothers and talking about their motherhood experience, talking about how to really fit 5 minutes of self-care into your life every day. I started researching more about overall wellness, and that's how I came to the 5 pillars of Back to 5, which are social wellness, physical wellness, spiritual wellness, emotional wellness, and intellectual wellness. And that's how I got to all that. And come to find out, all of those moms that I would be facilitating workshops with were not having joy in their motherhood experience and didn't feel like they could say that safely because people would associate that with them not having love for their children. But these are like 2 different things. So it's the relationship part of motherhood was solid for all of us. The relationship we had with our child, great. It was the role of motherhood and the intense responsibility of parenthood that we were struggling with in having the responsibility of having a child. So after, and this is all in 2021. So it was in 2021 when I actually established my LLC and was doing this consistently and, testing the concept, blah, blah, blah. And then 2022, I really took off doing more workshops and then really had focus groups to create what now is Reconnect. Hey, sis. And so all that story of my motherhood experience is how we got to Reconnect. So it's not, I had a hard time with being in groups of women, these great women, powerful women, these women who are out here doing great things for their communities, great things in business, leading companies, feeling broken down in their motherhood role. And I was like, I got to do something about this. And a lot of us as mothers, we feel isolated in motherhood because motherhood kind of takes us away from access to community, because we are going to work, especially as working moms. We go to work, and then because we're at work, we feel guilty doing things outside of work, so we come straight home. And when we come straight home, when we come straight home from work, we were walking into a household routine, for example, that we weren't truly fulfilled by and fulfilled through. So again, the relationship we had with our children, solid, but the role of being a mother and the responsibility of being a parent is what weighs a lot of us down. And I know for me, in those first 2 years that I broke them down, I didn't realize that I was so out of touch with myself. Y'all, I'm on my stepper. That's why I'm out of breath. I was very irritated. I was very touched out. I really was disengaged from my husband, really not engaged when my friends and I would get together. I just really wasn't present. I wasn't able to be present because the mental load was so heavy, and the friends I was hanging out with and who I was seeing, they weren't moms, so I was going to kind of get away from motherhood. But then when I was with them, I missed my daughter, and then I missed being at home. I just wanted my family there. So I just felt like a ping pong, I guess. And through reconnection, through an actual system of reconnecting, that went away. And so through facilitating workshops, working with more moms, I was able to help them get over that by helping them build systems and processes and create routines. And that kind of thing, and facilitating growth for people has been what I've done my whole life. Just as far as careers that I've had, and I've worked in higher education, and I've been in admissions, and I've been an academic advisor, and I've worked in banking sales. And when I worked for banks, you had to come to me when you were having trouble keeping money in your account and you just had bad spending habits. And I worked in the spa industry, so it was always very service oriented. So when I got back to me, I was able to connect with those parts of me too, those parts that got me as far as I had been in my life. So coaching became a very natural progression in my life, and it makes sense for me. And then having a podcast, I was like, oh, I always wanted to be have my own TV show. 17 minutes. I'll have enough of this on here. It's I always wanted to have a talk show. And so podcasting kind of came into the fold. And so when you become a mother, when you have a child, you are also reborn yourself. And with that rebirth, you have to rediscover who you are. And too often, we are not given the space to do that, or even are prepared for the fact that we will have to do that. And so reconnect is really giving that space to moms to be able to rediscover themselves, get back to themselves, build systems, and do that all with a community of other people who are wanting to do that too, a community of mothers to support you. And I hope that the people who've been in past sessions and workshops that I've facilitated have built long relationships with these other moms that they will have, beyond this season of reconnection. So with all that, that is my story. Reconnect. Enrollment is open. Registration is open at backdoing5.com/reconnect to learn more about it. It's $300 to enroll. There's a payment plan. If you're interested in that, it's 4 weeks. We meet every week for 90 minutes on Mondays. Meeting on Mondays is intentional because people be hating Mondays, and I need y'all to have something to look forward to. So we meet 90 minutes for 4 Mondays straight, and we set routines, set goals that really align with who you are now as a woman. Establish and set self-care routine. We audit your time so that you, this is my cool down. We audit your time so that you know exactly how much time that you have to fit self-care into your life. It's one thing for me to be here and be like, you need to do self-care every day for just 5 minutes, but where in the day do you put those 5 minutes of self-care? And then first week, we come out the gate with rediscovering who you are. So we do a lot of work to identify who you are now, sit into the changes that have happened through your rebirth, and to also identify the barriers that you've had to being the type of mother you want to be. So check that out. It's at the link in my bio. Check it out, share it with other moms, and I just want y'all to know that I appreciate all of you. Over the last couple months, I've grown my followers have grown by hundreds, and then I launched on YouTube, and I got like a whole bunch of views there and stuff going on. People are commenting, and TikTok, y'all are saving my stuff and sharing my stuff. And I am here to make the world a little bit better than the way it was when I found it. And I found that path through helping moms like you. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being engaged. Thank you for sharing. And enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to go maybe do a little stretch and take a little shower. And I will talk to y'all soon. Bye. How do I get out of here?